Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Um, I know I haven't posted any videos in a while. Life has been pretty crazy. The reason why I wanted to post today is just to give a life update, because I really haven't been on here in a while, and a lot has happened. Yesterday, I had to put my dog down. I had to put Mr. Chewy down, which was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. I think it's just as painful as losing my mom. I think, well, after my mom died, my husband and I um, were in an apartment building, and we ended up moving to a house, which is where we live right now. We were here for a year, and we thought about getting a pet, and so we went to this local animal rescue, and called Sunny Skies Animal Rescue in Ording, Washington. And we were just looking around. They had this big event where you can find adoptable pets. And I noticed that everyone was flocking towards this little chihuahua who was very cute. Little tiny golden dog, very, very cute little girl. But I looked down and there was this little wiener dog in the grass in a exercise pen, and he was all alone and nobody was looking at him. And I thought he was the cutest little thing. So we applied for him and we ended up getting him. And his name was Chewy. The backstory on him, um, I think he was about 9 when we adopted him. So he was an older dog, and his previous owners um, loved to vacation and go on trips, but they didn't take him at all. So he was left at home and had extreme separation anxiety. And I think it's just so sad that he was 9 years old and just, given away. But we ended up getting him, and my husband and I, um, said when we go on trips together, we'll take him, we'll make his life good. And one of the first trips that we did with him is we went to the ocean. We went all the way out to Ocean Shores, and we got him a little raincoat and took him out to the beach. And he had so much fun on the beach, playing in the sand, chasing the seagulls. He was so happy. And we took him on a road trip to Oregon to visit my grandpa. And I don't think Chewy ever saw the country before, and he was out in the country with horses, and he had a real fascination with horses and loved to watch them. And he loved that. He loved that trip. We would stay at this bed and breakfast in Gig Harbor, Washington. We would take Chewy with us, and we had a little backpack that we would put him in because he started having issues walking. So we would put him in the backpack and carry him on our trips. And then the backpack, of course, was starting to hurt my husband's back because he had spinal surgery before. So we ended up getting a stroller. And Chewy loved his stroller. So I would put him in there with blankets, and we would go on trips together, and he would be in the stroller. And it was so much fun. I think my husband and I gave Chewy the best life that we could give him. He was always so happy. And he was a little tiny mini dachshund, a little mini ween. God, I miss him. About a month ago, my husband took Chewy in for a visit, and we found that he had lost about, I think, 5 or 6 pounds since his previous visit, and he was the ideal weight at this time. He was where he was supposed to be because he was kind of plump before. He was always overweight. And we thought, okay, this is good. And he got placed on another special diet, a low fat diet, because he had pancreatitis. And, January, February, March goes on, right? And he started to lose more weight and just had issues with things like getting up his ramp. He has these little soft ramps to get up on. And I thought, okay, he's just an elderly dog. Well, last week, his head was tilted sideways, which was very unusual for him. And so he would walk like this. And it didn't seem right. And then I noticed that he would push his nose up against things, the floor, me, the bed, and he would just push really hard. And that was odd behavior, something that he's never done before. And I guess I was kind of in denial. Even though I saw it, I think I was kind of in denial. And my husband, 2 days ago, was like, I think it's almost time for Chewy to go. He's not doing really well. And when he said that to me, I was like, oh shit, he's right. And this was on Friday when he said that. And I was at work, and we were supposed to go on a date that night. We had planned a dinner date. And he's like, come home and take a look at him. And so I did, and we decided not to go on our date and to spend an evening together, the three of us, watching movies and having him, Chewy, sit with us. But we noticed that he still was having issues. So the next day, Saturday, we still were unsure of what to do, but just his behavior was just so off. I think what made us call the vet was the fact that he, walked out to his sun square. The sun was beaming in, and which is normal for him to go out to a sun square, but he pushed his nose up against the floor, and so Aaron called his vet and said, we don't know if it's time. We don't know what to do. And they said, well, just bring him in and we'll do a quality of life assessment. Well, before we took him, we put him in the stroller. We gave him one more ride around the neighborhood. We walked him around the neighborhood, and I could tell that he liked that. He was trying to stand up and look, and sniff and feel the wind. And he had his favorite toy with him. And after the walk, we put him in the car. He sat on my lap. My husband was driving, and we drove to the vet. Got to the vet, put him in the stroller. They took us in this room, which was obviously the room that they euthanized animals in, because it had the couches and the candle, and they did a quality of life assessment. And the vet weighed him and said, oh my god, he's severely underweight. He has so much muscle loss, not just fat loss, but muscle loss. And she said, well, I'm going to check his ears to see if there's an ear infection, because that would explain a lot of his behavior, inner ear infection. And she checked and said, his ears are fine. But the behavior that you're talking about points to a brain tumor, and with the rapid weight loss, it's probably cancer. And at that point, the vet and Aaron, my husband, and I decided that it was time to let him go because he didn't have any quality of life. And the vet said, if he stays any longer, he's going to start having seizures. And since I worked 2 jobs, I didn't want him to have to go through that all by himself when he's alone. So we decided to put him down. Um, so he got to try Godiva chocolate for the very first time. Like rich Godiva chocolate in a bunny shape because he's a Canadian size wiener dog, a rabbit sized wiener dog. So he had his Godiva chocolate and he had his favorite treats. And he was with his favorite toy, which is a football. And we said our goodbyes and we were with him, and he was, of course, the center. He was right in between both of us, like he always was. And he passed peacefully. I still have his little shirt. It's very hard, and you don't realize, how much an animal becomes a part of your family and a part of your life. And I don't have children, and he was basically my child. I miss him so much. I miss him so much. Anyways, I just wanted to give a life update, and I will post some pictures and video of him. I don't think you want to sleep down here. I think that you'll be really sad if I leave you. So let's go upstairs. Please?
What are you doing? Bubba, what are you doing? What? What's wrong? Mm-hmm. I know. Mm-hmm. That happened to me too. Yeah. I like that. Ah, your breath stinks. It smells like sewer. Whoa. You're so tough. Oh my gosh. You're so tough.